All right. LDMMAC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys. This is a message for you, Mackenzie Dern. Yeah. And I know some of y'all thinking, wait a minute, a message to Mackenzie Dern? Like, what the? Well, the message is for Mackenzie Dern. And it's not for you. So there it is. You know, I don't want to talk to Mackenzie Dern, the UFC fighter. I don't want to talk to Mackenzie Dern that used to be in the LFA. I don't want to talk to Mackenzie Dern that they did a stint with Invicta. I don't want to talk to that version of Mackenzie Dern. That's not the Mackenzie Dern I want to talk to. I want to talk to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Mackenzie Dern. The Mackenzie Dern before all of this debacle started happening. This is the Mackenzie Dern I want to talk to. This Mackenzie Dern had a lot of love and passion for the craft that she called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She had so much love and so much passion for the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the Mackenzie Dern that I see now, I don't see the same passion. I don't see the same fire. I don't see that passion and fire. And I understand that there's an age and there's some immaturity going on. I understand that all of these things are present. But that's not an excuse. You got to understand that that's not an excuse. Because here you have Sabina Mazo, who's 21 years old. 21 years old. But Sabina Mazo not doing those things. Because Sabina Mazo is actually letting her actions speak and her mouth do less talking. She don't like to talk very much. Sabina Mazo is a woman of action. And she's letting her actions speak for what she's doing. This version of Mackenzie Dern, you know, I'm going to tell you what I see. I see somebody with all the talent in the world. I see somebody with all the talent in the world. God gave you a talent. But I see somebody that can't deny their flesh. They can't deny their flesh. Now, what do you mean you can't deny your flesh? I mean, the fact that, you know, hey, if you're walking around too heavy, if you feel like you got to have some starch in your diet, in between fights, you know, if you get that potato chip or you eat those potatoes or whatever that's keeping the weight packed on you, you got to deny your flesh with the food. But it's not just the food. It's not just the undisciplined when it comes to the diet. You're not denying your flesh when it comes to, you know, having fun. See, there's a balance for fun and there's a balance for action. There's a balance for work and there's a balance for fun. It's not my law. It's not Coach Shelton Harrison's law. It's nature's law. And one must have balance when they're trying to have greatness. There has to be balance. But your balance, your scales are tipping over. Your scales are tipping over on the fun and BS side. And I got to tell you this, Mackenzie, because I see a fighter that's been given the talent, the skills, that God just gave you the skills. They're right there for you to let them become unveiled. But now is the time in your life where you got to dedicate, you got to die, you got to become a creature that's possessed to be the best. And you got to live in that gym. And Mackenzie, I'm here to tell you today that if you do believe in what you are sent to do, if you believe that one day you can be the best flyweight in the world, if you have that belief in you, then it's got to be later for your flesh. You need a new flesh. You see, instead of, you know, going out to the club, instead of the poor eating habits, instead of spending so much time on the beach, your new flesh needs to be, I got to get in there with the striking coach every time I see him. Listen, I don't even care if the guy's going home. You say, listen, I'm not done yet. Hey, I got to go home. I'm not done. Well, listen, I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to follow you home, and I don't care what you got going on, okay? I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to sacrifice whatever I got to do. I need more help. I want the striking game to come to me. I have to have you. Don't give me nobody that work with you. I want you. When you get tired, I don't care. You take a water break, but you come back and let's get this striking under control. You see, Mackenzie, you got to have a new flesh. You got to deny your old flesh, and you got to come in with a new flesh. And your new flesh is, I am going to put my face into the grind of the work, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to work, and I'm going to put myself in what I got to do. Mackenzie, it's too much to get done. I know the whole situation with the MMA lab. It left you upset. It left you just feeling like, you know what? Why? But Mackenzie, they saw what I saw. They see the greatness that lives in you. They see that it's there. But they don't see the willingness to pull the greatness out of you. They don't see the willingness. They don't see your willingness to go that extra mile to be great. And I know you were training at this gym, that gym, and you were still training. But these people, they saw something in you. They saw it. And so did I. They saw what was in you. They saw what you could be. They saw the future. They saw you 6 or 7 years from now. They saw you as being on top of the world. They saw all of this in you, Mackenzie. But you took your craft and the things that it entails and the discipline that's required. You took these things almost for granted. And I think that these people felt like you took it for granted. Mackenzie, you got the skill, but it's not born yet. You gotta birth your skill. You can't just have skill and sit on skill. You gotta birth your skill. You got to get in there and die in that gym so you can be born again. You gotta die in the gym so you can be born again. And if you're not willing to die, if you're not willing to bleed, if you're not willing to sweat, then you're just gonna get by. You winning fights now. You winning fights on doing just enough. You winning fights right now because you have a God-given innate skill set in your body. You winning fights right now. But Mackenzie Dern, you see, what are you going to do when when you can't rely on skill, what are you going to do? You see, what do you do when another Ashley Yoder, okay? What do you do when you find that kind of fighter that's stopping you from doing what you do best? What do? See, you got to have a plan B. You got to have a plan C. You got to have a plan D. Because right now, you're living off of plan A. And plan A is going to fail you one day. Plan A is not going to work one day. And you got to take yourself. You got to find a new flesh. You got to deny your old flesh. You got to let your new flesh take over. You got to let your convictions take over. You got to let it take over. Because if you don't, the path of destruction is sitting right ahead of you, and you can't see it. Because, see, you're young, you're 23 and 24, and you think the world is all yours, and you think that you're going to live forever. I know, understand. 23 and 24, you think the world is, you're going to live forever. You're not going to live forever. And nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is promised to you. Tomorrow's not promised to you. What are you going to do when your plan A doesn't work anymore? What are you going to do? Mackenzie, it's time. It's time. It's time to stop being an Instagram model. It's time to stop being, a Twitter celebrity. It's time. It's time to stop all these shenanigans. It's time for you to go in and live and bleed and die to what makes you you. Mackenzie, you got to respect the craft of MMA. You got to do it. But I want the old Mackenzie Dern, the one that loved and respected the craft of BJJ. I want that attitude to come into the craft of MMA, because you'll find out that if you have a love for something, you'll spend more time doing it. And you'll spend less time doing things that you like. You'll spend more time doing what you love. And that's just the way that is. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harris, and I'm done.